Our man in Hollywood, Jim Brown, has an animated subject this morning. It sounds like something from Disney, but it isn't. Here's Jim.
Why have you come?
Please, forgive me for disturbing you, but my son's life is in great danger.
The Secret of NIMH is based on the best-selling children's classic, Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of NIMH by Robert O'Brien. The story of a widowed mouse trying to find a new home for her family before the farmer's plow destroys the old one. But within that simple story, one-time Disney animators Don Bluth, Gary Goldman, and John Pomeroy have created a fast-paced, sometimes intense piece of classic animation. Bluth says it's the kind of animation Disney once did, but the trio departed the legendary Disney studio when they felt the old values had been set aside.
Some of the production values that you used to see were just not there. You know, they had knocked out contact shadows underneath the characters. They had stopped doing multiple passes through the camera, which gets you just this beautiful, magical look on the screen. To say nothing of the stories, which no longer had any bite in them. You know, they were very, very safe stories.
What are you talking about specifically? For example, what is in NIMH that you think is a throwback to the earlier Disney creations?
Well, there's several things that I could mention. First of all, I would say story is much different. With The Secret of NIMH, we're trying to tell a very definite story that has a little bit of bite in it. It does worry you. The story may scare you just a little bit. It may frighten quite a bit, you know, because it has scenes in it that that could scare children.
I've learned this much. Take what you can, when you can. Then you've learned nothing.
I think a film is a tremendous medium in which you can make a statement which will help the whole society, help the whole world. You know, because they do. They lift us up if they inspire. They fill us with hope. And they're like a leavening in the overall society. And we don't need pictures, movies that you go to that pull you down and that make you feel bad and that make you feel pessimistic and full of doom about the human race. I think you need pictures that make you feel hopeful.
Oh, I see. You have a girl.
Well, not really. I mean, I haven't found Miss Right yet. But when I do, the whole world will hear us singing.
Contrary to all the publicity put out on animation, it really is not that hard to draw every frame of the film. What's hard is if you draw one frame and then talk for 2 hours, and then draw a frame and talk for 2 more hours. Then it's expensive. But it's a medium, animation I'm talking about, is a medium where I believe everyone's life is enriched. What I'm mostly concerned about is that it does not dissipate into Saturday morning animation, because I think that that's really not worthy of the art form.
There is a way. Go to the rats.
For today, Jim Brown, NBC News, Hollywood.
It's nice to see the preservation of that art form in a time when everything is moving towards computers and all kinds of new things on the screen. Is there an audience for that?
There's a definite audience for this kind of thing. In fact, some of the best work done in the world today is animation, but it does not play in most movie theaters. You have to go to film festivals to see a lot of the great animation that's being done in countries all over the world. Ralph Bakshi has been on this program a couple of times and has done what I think forward-moving animation. And I'm very glad to see this kind of film, because you can do things in animation you can never do.
He mentioned the difference between this kind of animation and the Saturday morning animation,
that's right,
which is, of course, more simplistic.
That's right. It's just surfacey. There's nothing behind it. It's like me sketching a stick figure on a piece of paper compared to an artist who really draws it.
And, of course, the Disney studios produced tremendous talent, which now goes on to do it on their own.